As a disclaimer, Monster Fuckers Anonymous is indeed about wanting to love and have sex with monsters, but we want to make things extremely clear from the get-go. Not all of the chosen monsters will be sapient, but we will not be endorsing zoophilia or bestiality. We will be as transparent and ethical as possible, while also sex-positive and mostly having fun.
Vampires that stalk in the night, werewolves that howl to the moon, dragons that loom over the skies. These monsters and more have plagued mortals for millennia, clouding our minds with one singular thought.
Can we fuck 'em?
Fiction or reality, which one should we be? Don't think that I'm that naive to see the fiction or reality of things you've done to me. Now all this stupid shit is on repeat.
Hello, one and all, to another fantastic, wonderful, stupendous episode of MFA, aka Monster Fuckers Anonymous, a show where we talk about monsters, talk about the lore, talk about their media representation, and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, whether or not you. Yes, you listening. You eating a chicken sandwich right now. I don't know where you got it. Popeyes, KFC, maybe you made it from Tyson, but you're eating it right now, whether or not you should be having sex with those monsters. I'm your colorful creature consultant cleric, and with me, as always, is our technical analyst, the tenacious Joe.
I'm looking at a half-eaten edible right next to me, and I'm considering it.
Don't eat the edible. Joe, that is not sustenance. That is not actual food. Don't.
No, not as like food.
Just gonna chomp it in the middle of an episode and it just kicks in halfway through.
Yeah, I just suddenly like, yeah.
Just suddenly just like, in the middle.
Just start Gregorian chanting, absolutely.
God, those Gregorian chants hit. But hey, everybody, welcome back. We're trying to figure out what to talk about this episode. So, as we usually do. Joe, what are we going to talk about? I know before you eat that edible.
I was really busy praying this weekend. And,
you found religion?
I found religion.
Who are you praying to?
How
are you confused by what you're praying to?
The big one.
The big one?
The big one.
You're praying to the big one. Ariana? Georges. And what are they the god of?
Everything.
Wow.
There's only one.
He's the one true god, Georges.
I didn't pick a topic. I don't know.
Okay. No, hey, listen. That's no worries. I actually have a solution to that. So you see, in my spare time, which is I have, hundreds of hours of, I've been building something. So what I've been doing is I've been going into the local cemetery and, taking little body parts and I'm adding, so I got some arms, got some legs, I got an eye. So we're just going to put it all together and we're just going to, I think I'm going to flip a switch. I'm going to wait for lightning to start because it's a lightning storm. Kez, add a lightning storm in post. And I'm going to flip a switch and we're going to turn them alive and then see if they maybe have a topic for us. So I'm going to grab this little lever here and Joe, can you pull the lever, Crunk?
Yeah.
Pull that lever. Boom. Lightning strikes. Foley work is happening. Oh, she's alive. She's alive. It's our friend, Panda.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today?
We're pretty good. I can't believe I made you out of fucking dead body parts. I hope you're cool with that.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. I totally have like a thing for like necromancers and liches. Speaking of,
is that what you want to talk about today?
Yes.
That's wonderful. So I guess we'll be talking about the undead, liches, and all those who come back from the dead. Panda, what are you attracted to those things? Also, who are you?
Hi, my name is Amanda. You can find me everywhere as Pandacabra. It is kind of a mixture between a panda and a chupacabra. It's a little creepy, it's a little cute, and that describes me to a T, I feel like. I am totally a TTRPG player, part-time tech runner for TTRPG. That's pretty much all there is about me, and I am also a fan of monsters and the people who fuck them. So
Teehee, that's us.
Yeah. when it comes to the undead and liches, I cannot figure out when it started, but they have something very, very powerful about seeing a skeleton decked out in armor, and that could possibly kill you. And I don't know why, but I am very sexually attracted to that. So, fun story. Fun story. I was actually talking a little bit about to Joe about this before we started recording. My first sexual awakening that was like really like fundamental to the type of person I am today was in high school. The first time I read Frankenstein.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Why?
To the point I don't know, but it was the first time I ever masturbated in my life was while reading that book.
A fucking man.
And something just kind of went a little screwy in my head because of that, and that's why I'm here.
There's a lot to process there, and I don't have time, and we don't have time.
There's
for
nothing
that.
to process. That sounds completely right to me.
Damn! Shout out to Mary Shelley for making.
That was a sexy book.
It was.
How? Oh no! Oh wait, no. I'm thinking of like the typical Frankenstein, but like no, he's smart in there, and he's
smart and
got
hot.
hair. Yeah,
He's smart. He's hot. He like has like a severe existential crisis about why he even exists, and I love that about him.
Huge dick.
Mm-hmm.
he's obviously packing. But anyways, we're not talking about Frankenstein today because guess what? Frankenstein to gay. He is too gay, but he's not getting talked about this episode because none of us picked him. Maybe another episode.
I feel like
That sounds like,
I like
that sounds like it's somebody else's fault that nobody picks
It's no one's
Frankenstein.
fault. It's no one's fault for Frankenstein not getting picked. It's not like one person in particular called Frankenstein and then changed it literally 5 minutes before recording. That definitely isn't what happened.
Yeah, Claire, that definitely did not happen whatsoever.
Did not happen.
Frankenstein, we talked about in another episode, but today
Could have been a good moment. I don't know.
I'm sorry that someone wants to. I didn't know someone's jerking off to Frankenstein. Okay, how could I fucking predict that? Huh, everybody? Is that what I thought? I was like, oh, everyone's jerking off to Frankenstein.
Okay.
Obviously, we got to talk about him.
To be fair, I think the spirit of Mary Shelley like overtook me in that moment. I think that was what happened.
Do you think Mary Shelley got off to her own creation?
Oh, absolutely.
She had to have. Her husband wasn't going to do anything.
I mean, like, she wrote that when she was stuck in, like, a house with two dudes who were, like, too self-obsessed with each other, that she was just like, you know what if I wrote a book where I just created, like, a sexy guy?
Honestly, reasonable. But unlike Mary Shelley, Frankenstein ain't coming into this home, but we will be coming in some other bones. And that's why we each have picked a couple of topics. I have, Joe has, and Panda has. We have no idea what the other one is, what other people have picked. This is a completely blind episode, this one. So as we're going into this blind episode to talk about the undead, necromancy, and all things bone-related, Joe, would you want to get us started?
Yes, I do. I am going to be talking about a very classic figure. I'm going to be talking about Charon, the ferryman of Styx.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yes, you do.
I
You
do?
literally do.
How do I? Okay, yeah. All right, well, read your description.
Charon, the ferryman of the Acheron and Styx, is one of the most notable psychopomps in Western media. One of the many children of Nyx, Charon uses coin that is buried with the dead to ensure a safe passage down the rivers. In Greek, his name means keen eyes. In historical art, he is either represented as irascible, kind, or simply haggard.
It's the boatman. It's the boatman. It's the man who has a boat, Charon.
Hard door hook hand. Yeah, so specifically the Charon I have in mind is like the most, I think probably most recent depiction of Charon, which is obviously Hades. Charon is a fucking ruthless businessman. And if you steal from him, he will beat the shit out of you.
So
With a yaoi paddle.
Okay. So then, wait a second. Did you just say a yaoi paddle?
With a yaoi paddle. He has an oar.
Why the fuck did
That's
you call it that?
basically what is an oar but just a giant yaoi paddle.
A yaoi paddle. It's
Everyone,
a glaive.
I'm so glad you
as
enjoyed.
a yaoi paddle.
I hope you all enjoyed MFA.
It's a
We're wrapping up
halberd.
this episode real quick.
Imagine on Lancer and Fate Stay Night, but it's a yaoi paddle.
I don't want to imagine that actually. A
You
yaoi
have
paddle.
to, actually.
Why do I have to?
Because this is my pick. This is
So
my
you're
representation.
forcing me to imagine Chiron with a yaoi paddle spanking somebody.
It's not Chiron.
I don't. The boatman. You know what? That's his title now. The boatman.
That's fair.
Yeah. So you just picked a capitalist again. So someone's trying to make their parents happy.
Again, who? What other? Anyway, Charon specifically. Something I find very attractive, very much love, is this intermediary between life and death, especially this being. I can so easily imagine falling in love with the person guiding me to safe passage or attempting to help me through safe passage if no one buried me with any money. And psychopomps in general, I am very attracted to. Like Hermes is a psychopomp as well.
What is that term?
Someone that like leads you through the intermediary and transition between life and death.
Okay, that's interesting.
So specifically, I don't know. It's a guide of souls to the place of dead.
Okay.
So like a Grim Reaper, an interpretation.
Yes, right, exactly. I think classic Grim Reaper kind of depictions have definitely been because of the collective unconscious memory of Charon.
Okay, you described him as a ruthless businessman. So
in the game Hades, yeah, that is sort of the thing. He also like cooks, I think, or like I don't know where he gets the euros. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that word.
Gyros.
Gyros. It's definitely not gyros.
I apologize to everyone who's Greek who's hearing us butcher this one.
I don't apologize that much.
Gyros.
But yeah,
gyros.
Yeah, he weirdly, I think he cooks, he's a curator, he's a collector, he always provides you things as a checkpoint figure, and what not to love about going through the many stages of hell to eventually fight your dad on Earth, then kissing your boyfriend at every checkpoint that you do have to pay.
Yeah,
that you do have to pay to help you.
All right, you are paying for love at this point.
Don't we all?
Okay, well, we don't have to get philosophical with it. While I debate that, Amanda, how are you feeling about this?
I love this pick because, again, it's sort of like, I feel like the archetype for what we consider in modern day depictions of the Grim Reaper. And for me, I don't know, again, I'm messed up in a kind of way. I am also very attracted to like the Grim Reaper, of just being like the skeletal guy in like a black robe. With the scythe, and I like the idea that they're not necessarily malicious. They're just kind of there to help guide you. They just happen to look really creepy, and I appreciate that about my lovers.
Well, I feel a bit of the opposite of that, to be honest, because he's somebody who, if you don't have money, he's not going to do that. I think the only interpretation of the boatman that I have in my mind is Percy Jackson, and I think in Percy Jackson, he's like, if you don't have money, you're not getting on this fucking boat, idiot. Loser. Yeah. You fucking dumbass.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a point there.
There are definitely depictions, like there's in like the many vases that you can find archaeologically or whatever. There are, I think they started, or there are mainly depictions of Charon being like old and mean.
Yeah.
But so am I.
True, but he's also going to say, listen, if you're poor, I don't like you.
It doesn't have to be that much money. Also, like
but
you
if you
just
have no
need
money,
to be able to be taken from here or there.
Okay, question. I feel like if you don't have money, could you possibly get passage through another way?
By sucking his dick?
Yes.
I mean,
skeletal dick.
Yeah, would he have a penis?
He could probably magic one up.
Yeah, magic penis.
He's the son of Darkness and Erebus. I don't remember what Erebus was the personification of, but like probably some kind of shadow magic.
He got a shadow dick.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can maybe suck his shadow dick, but again, he's a ruthless cat. So let me describe who I'm seeing here, and if you allow me to. Okay. How I'm interpreting this character, the boatman, is if he was in the modern world, he owns a boat company, maybe a ferry company that is essential. That it's essential to the passageway to millions of people. Say like in New York, it's a fucking like an NYC taxi, but he has decided to privatize it, and he's the only one allowing people on. you can only, if you don't have the money or you're in certain circumstances or you're not paying his absurd price for tickets, like $20 to get on his taxi that you need to get to your job or your family, he's saying, go fuck yourself. And he has a monopoly. There's no other way to get across. So he's a ruthless capitalist who may be, you know, caring. Maybe in the Hades world, he'll make you, when he comes home to you in his penthouse that he probably owns, and he's like on the seas, definitely has a sea-based house. He definitely has like a lake house that you have to go buy a boat every time. Well, every time you go there, he's going to cook for you. He's going to have like people come in, help you out. He's going to be maybe a little bit intimate. He's going to be a little bit cranky. He's like, listen, time is money and I have to go back to business. And the night ferrying is much more profitable than the day ferrying. The day, you got to make it look nice, but the night ferrying is like all this kind of stuff. And he's constantly in and out your life. He's constantly doing things. He just wants a quickie. He's going to be someone who goes in, you're like, hey, babe, we're going to fuck real quick, bang, bang. Then he's going to go out and do business again. Maybe he'll even hire somebody to fuck you. He's like, hey, listen, I got time to go. Here's this guy that works for me. He's got a big dick. You'll probably like it. I got to go.
This works for me. I don't know about you, but this is working for me.
That's sad.
It's not. It's an arrangement. It's an experimental structure.
You're cucking him, I guess?
It's not cucking necessarily.
He's a cuck.
Yeah, it's not like he's not there watching. So
maybe he will be. Maybe he's just gonna watch you have sex and be like, all right, that was wonderful. Thank you.
And
gotta wrap this up. Pop, pop,
yeah, I think sometimes that's all that you need is to just be like, you know what? Like, I'm good. I just want to see my partner get fucking railed by one of these undead shadow demons.
And then he's gonna go. Unless he hit you with the yaoi paddle. Because if you're describing it as a yaoi paddle, maybe because you can take his things. I want to be impact
play to death by Charon the Boatman.
Then yeah, he's probably really into impact play. So if you're into that, how about you, Amanda? How are you feeling about this scenario that I've cocked up for everybody here?
Cocked?
Cocked up.
Concocted. You know what? I'm not seeing where there's an issue. And that's saying a lot for me because I am someone who is very much into like long-term relationships and love and stuff, but also sometimes you just need to get railed and that's like all you really need.
Oh, wait a second. I know who this is. Holy shit. This is Christian Grey.
Don't you dare.
This is 50 Shades of Grey.
No.
This is 50 Shades of Grey, everybody.
No. Okay, listen. Christian Grey actually cares too much.
I was going to say, Christian Grey is also like, he's kind of... Like, I feel like he's very fake about everything. That he's very much about appearances. Where I feel like Charon would not be. Like there's nothing fake about him.
Well, yeah, there's nothing fake about him, but he's still going to be super into fucking impact play, and he's still going to be like, you call me daddy. You call me boat daddy. It's... Call me boat daddy. Oh, no. Oh no, I wouldn't be able to take him seriously. I'm sorry. This pick is ruined for me.
Okay, cool. So we have many of Cleric's fantasies about capitalism.
I don't fantasize about capitalism. Don't make it sound like I'm like dreaming of a capitalist society or like a big capitalist mommy. Why don't we get to those ratings?
Speaking of capitalism, why don't we get to those numbers? Why don't we get to those optics?
Let's get to them. Let's see what the optics are. All right. For possibility, I mean, you have to die. You need to be dead.
Easy.
Okay, everybody. Again, I want to reiterate: dying is above average. Is not an average thing. You know, dying is tough, everybody. So this can't be higher than a 5. I want to make this very clear. I mean, if you're a broke bitch and you don't, first of all, you have to believe in the Greek pantheon. So that's also 1.
Easy.
What?
Easy. Do you know how many witches there are?
Okay, true. All right. If you worship the Greek pantheon, you're going to get sent down there. It works. 2, you have to like have money on you when you die. Which, if you're one of them broke bitches or your parents rob you when you're dead, then you ain't got money. He ain't gonna talk to you. And then 3, you have to convince him all in like one boat ride. You have to convince him in a boat ride in order to be able to maybe even have a chance. So in that boat ride, you have to be like, hey, like, I don't know where I'm going, but I want to like go down on you, bestie. He's gonna be like,
bestie?
I charge $50 in order to get my dick sucked. So
it's like, 1 coin.
Well, no, he's saying he's charging $50 to suck his dick.
Why is he charging for dick sucking?
Because he's a capitalist.
But he already paid him up front.
You paid him up front from the ride, not for the ride. You know what I'm saying?
You're just extrapolating.
That's the whole point of the show.
But I'm like, okay, but I'm sitting here. I'm just like, yes, but think about the implication. You're stuck on a boat together. Just
Not
the
the
two
implication. Not the always sunny implication. Well, they can't say no because of the implications. I don't think this is going to be a high score. I'm going to give this a 3.
7.
You are a menace to society.
Thank you so much.
Amanda?
You know what? I was gonna go with like maybe a solid 7, but I'm gonna actually go with a 5 because it is really hard to die.
To die, I was going to say.
It's really hard to die. I find it quite easy.
I mean, to be fair, it's easy to die, but then it's like you have like that one shot. If you only have one shot. And
Better make it count.
Knowing me, I would screw it up somehow.
All right, so then let's go to attractiveness. Now, he's not that attractive, to be honest.
Fuck you.
What do you mean? What do you mean? He's just not. He's just objectively not that attractive.
He's so hot.
Wow, describe him. How is he hot? Describe him.
He has muscles. He's tall.
You're describing a basic white man.
He doesn't speak. He only mutters and grumbles. He has great accessories and really knows how to accessorize. I think is very respectful of the dead, as well as probably like just a general understanding of ancestry and funeral rites. Does not fuck with goths that take pictures at graveyards, that type of shit. Has a fashionable hat, and blows out purple ominous smoke every time that he grumbles to speak.
You're describing one version of him and not describing the crusty old white man that he usually is.
Incredibly off-putting. And honestly, he can kill me.
Everyone could kill you. That's like literally...
Everyone Holy shit. Everyone could kill you.
All right, what's your score? What the fuck is the number you're giving?
9.
That's ridiculous.
There's a specific poem from Virgil that I'm specifically not sharing with all of you.
Why?
Until probably after the rating.
Why?
Which is cheating.
Okay, but why? Oh my god, Panda, what is yours?
I would say it depends on the depiction. I know we're going with like the popular Hades version. I'm looking at like other descriptions, and it could be, I would say again, a solid 7. He ranges anywhere from like a super muscular guy wearing just like a little sash, nothing else, to just full on like a skeleton in a robe. And I love that versatility. I like that he can be whatever you want him to be.
Yeah, it could also be that, like, you know how sometimes they'll do like, you see the version you want to see of somebody. So it could also be that. So if you see him as a hot man, you're going to see him as a hot man. If you see him as a decrepit cell, then you're going to see him as a decrepit little skeleton boy. So I'm going to give this a 5. I'm not too attracted.
That's
so I think
not
it's middle
bad.
of the road.
That's not bad.
The 5 is really for his personality of being a capitalist. Audacity, how audacious it is to be with the boatman. This is pretty fucking audacious. You're courting the man taking you to the afterlife. This is pretty high. I'm going to give this a 3.
For Charon's audacity, okay. I really don't find it that audacious, but I do get it.
You are courting death.
I mean, death compared to just straight up Satan or Jesus. I think it's halfway. I'm gonna go 5.
Okay, whatever. Panda.
But is he really like death, or is he just like the guy taking you to death?
He's just the guy taking you to death.
He's just trying to do his work. So, he's trying to do his job.
You know, a part of me is like, you know, you won't be the first. You certainly won't be the last. So, yeah, maybe like, again, I'd probably say like a 3. You're probably not the first or the last that will attempt something like this.
Okay, that's fine. Parental approval.
You sound disappointed.
I am. Just in general.
Clark is always disappointed.
I'm usually my base form is disappointment. So in that case, speaking of disappointment, parental approval. What our parents.
This is a rich man. Okay.
This is a capitalist who has a stable job, who understands death and the rituals of death. It is
can cook gyros.
Can cook gyros.
And French fries.
That seems problematic, but
This is the menu.
that's his character. Is actually the main chef. That's him.
Yeah.
Honestly,
this is Voldemort.
What is the guy's name? It's like Storbenson or something. Whatever.
Tommy Jones. That's not his
name. Yeah, no, it's Tommy Jones.
It's Tommy Jones. The actor of Voldemort is Tommy Jones.
Yeah. But no, I think actually that's a perfect description. He is the guy from the menu. He is a capitalist who is like so involved with his job that he just doesn't care about the people anymore. So,
but there's art. It's an art.
There's an art to it, and I think my parents would be somewhat agreeable to this. So I'm gonna give this an 8.
I'm gonna give it an 8 too.
Also an 8. Like he has a steady job.
Triple 8s across the board. If this was Vegas, we'd be winning. But unfortunately, this ain't it. So let's go rob some more graves. And pause for Matt.
Unfortunately, this isn't it.
Yeah. Listen, if this was Vegas, we'd be winning big. But look around.
It's not.
In our basements, recording monster fucking content.
Kez here. I want to thank our coffee members for supporting us. That's Gav, Chris Chanjay, Daydori, Akima, and Funzo Surawali. Our members can listen to the outtakes for this episode right now by heading over to our coffee page. You can find us at coffee.com/monsterloverpod or go to our Twitter at monsterloverpod. This episode is sponsored by the Red by Daylight podcast. Listeners Gavin and Cole introduce series newcomer Carolyn to the lore of Dead by Daylight and, albeit accidentally, create some of the most interesting backstories and justifications for the game's killers. This queer, casual, and comedic dive into Behavior Interactive's popular title has something for everyone, from Gavin's technical knowledge to Caro's sharp wit and reactions, and even its own monsterfucker corner provided by Cole. It's a fun and easy listen. You don't need to know anything about Dead by Daylight to have a good time, so be sure to catch it wherever you get your podcasts. That's READ by Daylight. That's all from me. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
So, Joe, what's the scores?
Alrighty. So for you, Cleric, for Charon, we got a 4.8. For me, a staggering 7.3. And for Panda, a 5.8, which leaves Charon at a beautiful 5.9.
Okay.
Pretty solid.
That's a solid base to be in. That's above average. Let's go. Sometimes that's where you got to be in our little list. Being above average is like the Hall of Fame. Well, actually, no. Above average, it means you're good. Fuck this monster. If you get in the top 10, if you're somehow in the top 10 of monsters, this means that you should upend your life and go be with those monsters. It's that. I agree. It's that simple. That's how the show works. Because we never get above like a 7. Getting above a 7 is like a miracle.
Optimus Prime was above a 7.
It's Optimus Prime. It's Crystal Dragons. It's... I forget Quetzalcoatl. It's Selkies. I think those are like 5.
Constance from Monster House.
That is... Wait, what? Wait,
Constance was a 7.2.
I forgot.
Hold on, I'm looking this up.
It's just a house.
Oh, okay.
It's a woman that's a house.
Oh my god, I forgot our own fucking scores. Okay. Oh, my eyes are fucking watering. That's good. All right, now that we're done with the chaotic Chiron or the capitalist Chiron, whatever you fucking want to call it.
God damn it.
Yeah, so I can cry about it. But now we have that. Amanda, you've been sitting here bracking that brain I gave you with monsters. Why don't you give it a shot? See how the show works for you.
All right, here we go. My pick is King Leoric from Diablo, aka the Skeleton King.
Ooh. Okay, I like that title.
King Leoric was formerly the ruling monarch of Honduras. Once a devout follower of the Zakarum faith, he was ultimately corrupted by Diablo, the result being the end of his line, his kingdom, and everything he strove for. Once a kind and religious king, Leoric fell to madness after a series of personal tragedies made him vulnerable to Diablo's influences. Driven to paranoia, he slaughtered his wife and became a tyrant, ultimately executed by his own knights. Buried in his armor, Leoric would reawaken as the Skeleton King, a leader with an undead army who threatens to overrun Tristram.
A lot of bones today. A lot of bones.
That's the undead.
There's a reason I call him the Bone Daddy, and that is because, I mean, first off, his name is the Skeleton King.
That's how it goes hard.
You can't, yeah. So, in case anyone who doesn't know, King Leoric is actually from the Diablo series of video games by Blizzard. And even though I personally try not to support Blizzard as a company monetarily, they do create some of my favorite undead monsters that have ever been made. Their character designs are just chef kiss. Like,
I mean, they have the chart. You know, the Overwatch chart.
Yeah. Exactly. We're not going to go into that. That being said, I feel like Leoric is my favorite trope of the type of like villain that I noticed that Blizzard tends to write a lot. He almost mirrors Arthas Menethil, who is the Lich King in the Warcraft series. You know, someone who is very devout, who is led to a greater purpose, and then ultimately corrupted and became undead due to his madness and paranoia at the hands of someone else. And there's just something about that kind of villainy that really, 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 really speaks to me. I can't explain it, don't know why, but I just love the idea that, like, he died and then he came back.
Oh yeah, I get that. That is like, death and coming back for revenge is one of my favorite tropes in anime and just in general. It's so good. It's just an iconic thing to do. To be like, you know what, fuck you, I'm coming back and I'm going to kill you now. I'm going to make you feel bad about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's ultimately someone who did have everything. I mean, he was a very attractive man when he was alive. You know, he had a loving wife, he had 2 kids, and then just like a bunch of personal tragedies happened. He lost both of his sons. He doesn't know what happened to them. He also had a literal demon like on his shoulders, constantly whispering to him that further corrupted him. And there's just, that demonic influence making him go absolutely batshit insane. I love that.
So what I'm hearing is he is a sub.
Yes.
Yeah. He is a sub.
But
he's influenced easily. He has son issues. So emotional baggage
that only I could fix.
He's got that undead dad nut.
He's got that undead seed.
Plus, he is like a giant skeleton who was buried in his armor. So when he reawoke, he was wearing a crown and has like the biggest fuck you armor. And like, there's just something about a man in armor or a skeleton in armor, as this goes.
Armor is always hot.
Yes.
Yeah, armor is always hot. And then when he wears that crown, it's just like, oh, just see me in a crown.
Okay. I'm sort of with it. Again, there's an image that I'm thinking about, but Joe, I want to get your thoughts about this.
I mean, just kind of looking at him, why has he got that tiny waist for?
Oh my god, not the tiny waist argument again.
He's snatched, what can I say?
You know well, no, he doesn't have a bussy. He's just skeleton.
You don't know.
You don't know if he just kept his skin around his asshole?
You don't know what kind of magic is going on.
If he's full skeleton, then he doesn't have a bussy.
But he also has hair, so
yeah,
he could very possibly have a bussy.
Skeletons having hair is super normal. What isn't normal is them keeping their asshole bussies, you know, and their penises. Unless their penises are also rotting. Do you want a rotten penis in your Velugas?
What?
You didn't answer my question.
We don't know that it's not rotting. Again, I'm kind of operating on the assumption that there is some kind of shadow magic going on.
Right.
We just can't always assume.
Is there... Yes, I can. Are there like any notable moves of his in actual gameplay?
Yes, so I don't know. The picture that I linked with you, he is holding a big, like, fuck you, 2-handed mace that he loves to swing around.
Mm-hmm. He just swings that thing? You get that thing swinging?
He's got that thing swinging.
Got that thing swanging. But I don't know. So the personality that I am thinking for him, and if you don't mind, this is what I am assuming, is one, he is, like I said, a sub. But he's also somebody who's going to be constantly just bringing up his grudges that he's had or grudges that are going on around him. Of being like, oh, like you're going to be like, hey, like take off your pants. He's like, yes. Or he's going to be doing shit like that. But then he's also going to be like, yes, I need you to punish me for my children. Like, I need you to punish me for all of this. And you're like, all right, King, I'm just trying to get off. And I'm just trying to get like my money. And like, I just need you to do like the bare minimum of work that I need. He's like, oh yeah, no, but I need you to punish me for all the things I did wrong. It's like, okay, stop.
Oh, I feel like I feel like that's a little bit on me for being like, oh, but I kind of like that though, because I'm very much the same way. I hold grudges a lot.
Yeah.
So then it becomes the issue of like, what happens when you have two subs in a relationship? Like, what happens?
And they were both bottoms.
And they were both bottoms.
And they were both bottoms. If two bottoms interact, one of them has to be the top, but they're not going to like it. It's the inevitable fact of society. And they will kill each other. They'll eat each other like an Ouroboros.
Oh my god.
But in any case, so you're dealing with like this sub bottom who is just going to be constantly begging for punishment or you to tell them what to do. And if you're not a commanding presence and you're not a commanding person, I'm not too much of a command person. I can't deal with that all the time. What was that?
We know.
I don't appreciate that.
I don't know why there's anything for you to not appreciate if it's just the truth.
Sometimes the truth hurts, Joe.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, no, if he is like, if you're not a commanding person, this isn't going to be for you.
True. I feel like, and maybe it's more like, it's like, do I want to fuck him or do I want to be him? You know?
There is that.
Yeah. Do I want to be stepped on by a demon and being told what to do and be corrupted by it? Or do I want to be the one to corrupt him? Listeners, I want you to close your eyes, actually. Everyone, listeners included, close your eyes where you're at right now. And I want you to really look inside yourself, feel your heart of hearts, and realize, are you the corrupter or the corruptee? And once you find that answer, I think you'll know where you want to be and how this monster will rank in your heart of hearts. Let's take a moment. Kez, put on some meditation music for like 3 seconds while I was doing that speech. Like, put some meditation music, and then we're going to come back in 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes. Do you know where you're at? Do you know who you are?
I do want to be corrupted. Maybe that's all it is.
And we figured it out. Possibility. Let's jump on into it. Possibility. Where is he at? Yeah, actually, this is a good question. Where is the Skeleton King located?
Oh, well, first off, you'd have to exist in the Diablo universe. So that's probably going to be the biggest issue is trying to get yourself into Tristram.
We're gonna assume that we're there. We're gonna assume
we're there.
Yeah.
So he lives like in a tomb, so you have to go to the graveyard. Anyone can access the tomb. I mean, you have adventurers every day trying to go and stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty accessible.
Yeah.
You have to solve a puzzle or two to get there. It's fine.
I'm not good at those.
It sucks to be you. I feel like he is surprisingly accessible considering he is one of like the top sort of tyrants of Diablo history.
And how accessible is the Diablo world in general? Like if I were to live there as an average person, how good is my day gonna be?
Your day's gonna be it depends on how much you know, but I feel like your day generally would just be very sucky unless you're like a wizard or a necromancer. Or, like, maybe you're one of the people who the Nephilim have taken a liking to. You could also just be a simpleton who hangs out in the bar being like, it's really strange how, like, the skeletons keep rising up. This kind of sucks. But at least we still have beer.
All right. Joe, what are you thinking for your score?
I want it to be possible. So what could we do with that?
Not much. There's not much we could do with that. With your just desire. Again, imagine that you were in the Diablo world. It's not that you have to get teleported there. It's that you are an average person in the Diablo world.
You'd have to probably survive against the undead horde that he sends out first off. So there's
a regretful 3.
I was going to say the same thing. I think a 3 is very reasonable.
Yeah, because like I said, unless you're like a hero archetype, like as an average person, as me living, like if I lived in the Diablo universe, I would probably just not survive just in general. So yeah, I would agree with the 3. His tomb is very accessible, but you do have to fight a couple of undead hordes to get there. And if you're like me, you're uncoordinated as fuck, you're gonna like trip over some like gravestone and like knock your head in.
And you're done. You're instantly done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's, I think that's fair. So now let's go on to attractiveness, how attractive this guy is. I'll be real, the armor is what's doing it for me. Like, the armor is definitely like half the battle. He is snatched, I will say. It's because he also doesn't have, anything. He doesn't have skin. Well, actually, no. I take that back. He does have skin. Wait a second. I take it back. If I'm looking at this picture with his hands have skin around them. The only place that doesn't have skin is his face, so you can't smooch him that well. But his asshole might be there. You might be able to fuck this man.
It could be a Charon situation where just like the skin has like receded to the bone, but that doesn't mean that the skin isn't there.
So it's gonna be a very thin fuck.
Very thin fuck.
You could probably
bruises easily.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna tear his asshole if you like fuck him.
But on the other hand, he'd probably really appreciate me having really big thighs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, being warm and having lots of skin, incredible.
Yeah, he would. He definitely would be into it. I'm gonna give this a 6. So again, his personality and him being as somebody who wants to be corrupted, me and him aren't getting along. But his armor and his thin little bussy, 6.
I'm going like an 8.
Okay, if you want to give him a 10, you give him a 10.
I was like, I do want to part of me really wants to give him a 10, but I'll give him an 8 because it's like, yeah, you can't really like smooch him, but then it's like, there's more you can do with him though.
Yeah,
so,
sex ain't all about penetration, everybody. We say it again and again.
Yeah, plus again, he has that giant ass mace. He can just like swing at you and like end you in one swing, like if you wanted to.
Okay, again, everyone, death is not something we want. Death is
probably not. There are worse ways to go out though.
True. Audacity, how audacious it is to get with the king. It's pretty fucking audacious too.
Hordes, like a ruler of undead hordes, huh?
Yeah, we're at a point where this is a lot. That's an entire. You have to fight through an army. You have to fight him. You have to beat what's corrupted him. You have to say that you should follow me instead of the demon that's on your shoulders. You have to fight through his hordes. You have to convince him, and then you also have to like dom top him. All of this is very audacious. I actually want to change my 2 to a 1. I'll be honest. I think this is fairly audacious.
2.
That's fair.
I don't want to give him a 1.
Yeah, I feel like a 2 because like as a commoner trying to go after the king, it's possible, but it's going to take a lot to get to that level.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
a lot of what's the word? Appealing.
Yes, because you're not only fighting for his attention, you're fighting for his attention against Diablo, who is like the corrupter of worlds. Like,
oh yes, yeah. That's definitely going to be one of those things.
I could take him.
No, I don't think so. But anyways, if that's the case, our parental approval. Would our parents approve of the king? No. No.
Presumably Jesus and Satan doesn't exist in Diablo, but I feel like this might still be a slight problem.
Definitely.
From me, like I know my parents might have an issue for the fact that he does technically have an ex-wife who he murdered, but that wasn't necessarily his doing. Well, remember, he's corrupted.
True, so he should have murdered his wife. Damn, that's wild.
Yeah. And he did that when he was still alive. Now that he's a skeleton king, maybe he doesn't do that anymore.
Like, I don't know. He's still, again, you have to beat his corruption. And if this corruption murders you, then as you're like, hey, this is my boyfriend, the Skeleton King. Remember when he razed that village to the ground across there and we had to like starve for a couple days? Well, he's here. Haha.
But also at the same time, he is a king. And I feel like would the status overwhelm like the destruction? And
no.
you have to think about that.
Depends on the type of king, and I don't think this king is it. So I think I'm going to give this a 4.
King, I don't think that's it. What did I fucking say? I said 8 for Charon. I think I was going to say 4 as well. Just like right down the middle of that.
I was going to go with like a 5 again, because it depends on what your parents are looking for in a partner for you. If are they looking at like the status? Are they looking for someone who enjoys status, or are they looking at like the person they were before and all of that? Because, right, like it's 50-50.
Yeah, that's fair. 50-50 is fair. But we've got our scores. It's time to see where this Skeleton King ranks up. So let us pause for math. Joe, how about you read off the scores?
Yeah. So, for Leoric, the Skeleton King, snatched pussy waist. Cleric, you got a 3.5. I got a 4, and Amanda got a 4.5, which gives Leoric a solid 4.
All right.
Not bad.
Round number right there. Honestly, fair. I think that's still around like where the ghosts are, and that's sometimes where a skeleton's got to be.
Sometimes that's what a skeleton got. Yeah.
Amanda, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about where your guys at?
You know what? I am surprised he is as high as he is. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I first like approached with the idea of like I want to talk about like super sexy skeletons, I wasn't sure if anyone was going to be on board for it. So I'm really happy with that score.
Yeah, listen, I'm on board for sexy skeletons. Actually, I brought a skeleton to talk about today. A skeleton that I feel very passionate about. One that is also a king. One could call him a soul king, actually. Because I'm talking about...
Is this Magic the Gathering?
Nope. I'm talking about the One Piece Straw Hat crew member, Brook the Soul King, baby!
Yo!
Humming Brook was once one of the many musicians that made up the fearsome Rumbar pirates, who sailed over the Grand Line, bringing music and joy throughout the seas. The pirates had many adventures, but their journey was cut short after an encounter with a rival crew who had poisoned their blades. As his crewmates dropped one by one, Brook and his crew decided to sing one last song as they left this world. Fortunately, Brook had eaten a devil fruit, the Yomi Yomi no Mi, which brought Brook back to life after death. Finding his body was nothing but a skeleton, except for his signature afro. Left but just bones adrift at sea, it would take 90 years before Brook could sing with a new crew. Yo ho, yo ho ho ho, it's your boy Brook. I love this man. He is one of my top 3 Straw Hats. He is kooky. He is wrong one. He is fun. He is interesting. He is a gentleman through and through.
Full disclosure, I know nothing about One Piece.
Understandable.
But I have seen this guy in like images and stuff. I love him.
He's the Soul King.
Don't know anything about him, but he is my favorite character by default.
Yes. Allow me to explain a bit about Brook, and this is going to be spoilers for the series. So if you don't want One Piece spoilers, tune back in, I don't know, near the end of the episode to get the scores. But for those of you, spoilers are going to start in 3, 2, 1. So Brook before even the event of the series, he sailed in the time of even a little bit before Gold Roger, the king of the pirates. He was there around. Like when he was alive, Gold Roger was a rookie, which shows like he is much older than the rest of the pirates. He ate a devil fruit, and at first the devil fruit didn't have any powers, but he realized that his devil fruit would only activate after his death. It would bring him back to life. So he sailed with these pirates, the Rumbar pirates, and the Rumbar pirates literally brought music and joy to every child. Like their literal motto was bringing a smile to every child. So they played music. That's all they were. They were pirates who just like sailed the sea, playing the most beautiful stuff. They then, on their adventures, met a whale, this tiny baby whale known as Laboon. And so they felt like Laboon ended up like loving the music that the Rumbar pirates would play and that Brook would play, and they fell in love. And Laboon was like, "Yo, I want to travel with you guys as a whale." But they're like, "No, listen. When you get older, we'll come back. When you're a bigger whale, you'll come back and we'll meet you, and you'll like come sail with us." They then went to the Grand Line. They were then met with tragedy after tragedy, where their captain was caught an incurable disease and died, and then they were attacked by another pirate crew who poisoned poisoned their blades, which ended up killing all the rest of the crew. So as they're dying, their ship damaged, there's no rudder, like they're just adrift at sea with no hope of living because they've all been poisoned. As a last ditch thing, they all knew that Brook would come back to life when he died. So what they did is, with their dying, like the last dying will of the entire crew, Brook recorded them singing one final song that Brook was going to bring, when he brought back to life, bring to Laboon and play for him. So they all died, Brook included. All of them were poisoned and murdered and died. It took a year for Brook to find his body again, and by the time Brook found his body again, drifted because the boat was adrift at sea, the rudder was broken. It was all skeletons except for his signature afro, because like the roots were strong is like what the why he has it. He repossessed his body, but because he was adrift at sea, he couldn't control the boat. So for 90 years, he was just alone on a boat, just trying to stave off depression until the Straw Hats found him. So that's his story. And one of the best things,
Sad.
It's really sad. And it's all what also ends up happening is he meets the Straw Hats. He gets his shadow back because his shadow was stolen by somebody, and he joins the crew because Luffy's always wanted a musician.
Peter Pan.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a Peter Pan situation. He joins the crew and he starts playing the song. Everyone loves it. And then he mentions the whale. He's like, "Oh, I'm waiting for a friend, Laboon." And then Luffy is like, "Oh, I met that whale," because the whale is still alive and it's still waiting for them. The whale is still waiting for the Rumbar pirates to come and for them to return. He's been waiting 90 years.
That is so sad and sweet.
That's so sad.
So Brook's now goal is, like, while he joined the pirates, is, hey, I want to go see Laboon again and play this song for him of all his dead friends. He is a gentleman through and through. Brook is, by definition, he is a gentleman. He drinks tea. He makes jokes. He makes a bunch of skeleton jokes. He's like, I wish I could see that, but I don't have eyes. Yo ho ho ho. Things like that. Like, oh, it feels cold against my skin. Oh, wait, I don't have skin. Shit like that. He's also a pervert. I'm not going to sit here in front. I'm not going to sit here and not tell him.
I mean, it's One Piece. It's One Piece.
When he first meets two of the crew members who are the female crew members of the Straw Hats, he just asks them straight up, hey, can I see your panties? And he asks that constantly. He's like, hey, can I see your panties? And stuff like that. But he is a gentleman. Like, one of Brook's stern beliefs, and I think
he's a gentleman.
Through and through, it's more of a gag for him, like, that he does it, but he truly believes in, like, he's a courteous man. He believes in kindness. Like, even when somebody else attacks another crew member, like an enemy attacks a crew member, he believes in, like, oh, no, I will defend this enemy because you should be protecting your comrades. Friendship is one of the most important things to me. And I think this quote sums up, I'm talking a lot, but I'll let you all have your opinions in a second. But
no worries.
Again, this is special interest. Everyone, again, a special interest cleric has been activated. One Piece is like the one thing I fucking love to death. But I think this quote really sums up who Brook is, because his philosophy, because he has a value on life, and his philosophy is good things come to those who wait. And one of those things is, like, he quoted somebody who was like killing their own men, and his quote is, and what would you know? It's not like you've died before. Die and be left as grudge. That's absurd. Nothing is left behind. After death, living things are just bones. People who waste lives are what I hate the most. That reeks of shame. Not that I smell without a nose. It
goes hard.
So good. So what are your initial thoughts, everybody? I know I've just talked. I've had special interest corner.
So, Cass, just throughout all that, can you just, like, fast forward it? Kidding.
Put it on 2 times speed, actually. And
put it on 2 times speed, please. No. This guy has always, I didn't actually know that much about him. I didn't know about the fucking sad shit going on. But he's always been so fucking cool to me. Like, I've always been very intrigued by this character. And you're right. Undead counts.
He counts.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda?
First off, the drip is immaculate.
He is always fucking dressed down to the nines. And when you first meet him, he's in a suit. He has a little top hat that he goes on top of his fro that he wears. He has a cane. His sword is a cane. that he like stands on and uses. He's in a full piece suit.
Shit.
Even when he goes to when it's post time skip and they change his outfit, he's still wearing a little bit of a suit. What before I get into his post time skip, which I also think is very interesting, Amanda, you were saying?
No, I was just saying I love the idea of the cane sword. Like,
Yeah.
It's so good.
Like- like this skelly boy is like pulling all the bitches.
Oh, he is.
If you were allow me to say so.
Oh no, he is. He is in the way of like, he also pulls it even more post time skip. So there's a post time skip that happens. The Straw Hats all get separated and they all have their own little journeys. Everyone else like becomes like joins the revolution or like studies medicine or gets better weapons. Do you want to know what Brook does? Brook,
What does he do?
He does sing. He becomes an international superstar. He holds concerts. His new name becomes Soul King Brook because of his like performances all around the world. His wanted poster isn't even like an actual wanted poster. It is a concert poster of his that just holds his bounty. He's just a rock star. He's a rock star now. And like his intro back to when he joins the crew again after post time skip is he holds a concert. And he just like sings, and he has a beautiful voice. Both voice actors who sing the songs that he sings, because he does sing the show, are so fucking good, and they sell it. And he has such a beautiful voice, and he fucking goes in, and he like does a little anthem while they're singing. It's so, oh my god. Well, that's who he is personally. And then there's his like weaponry, like the cane sword. He's one of those samurais omowashiru, like where it's like you're already dead. I already cut you. Like he hits him with the nani. It's so like he does hold the slashes, and then like as soon like everyone keeps moving, and as soon as he like sheaths the sword, boom, cut to the nines. He is loyal. He is funny. He is a gentleman. He is a little of a pervert, but he'll definitely treat you right. He is a service top, or he's a verse because he'll service you. That's all he wants, to make sure you are good. Any questions?
Wow, this is a lot to take in. I like, again, I just can't get over the fact that, again, know nothing about One Piece, but this was always a character that I would see him and be like, that one's my favorite. That one's my Blorbo.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing absolutely nothing about him.
Blorbo.
I feel awkward because I can't really like speak on anything happening with One Piece, but I do love pirates.
Mm.
I do love the fact that even in death, he is still a gentleman, a little bit of a pervert. We all are, to be fair.
Yeah,
all are.
Mm-hmm. Just like the drip is immaculate. Like this man, this skelly boy, like the fact that he looks so much kind of like a mixture between like he like even in his outfits reminds me a little bit of like if you mixed like Jimi Hendrix and Prince.
Yes. There are some. He is like the quintessential rock star.
Yeah, and he's a rock star. Like, rock stars are inherently sexy. Like, I love anyone who can play an instrument. Like, I used to play instruments. I don't anymore, unfortunately. But, like, music, I think, is one of the great unifiers of, like, cultures. And that's why I love musicians. This guy is a musician. Like, I'm there. I am 100% for this man.
He is... I think also one of the funny things is that Oda once wrote what he would be if he wasn't a pirate or he didn't join the Straw Crew. He would be a detective, a singing detective. God.
That's somehow even better.
Joe,
like imagine the trench coat. I'm sorry, it's just like the detective trench coat.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Joe, do you have any thoughts post pre-Popo scale?
I think this will be a particularly easy one to rapid fire score. Like he's just kind of a cool guy.
He's just the boy. It's that simple.
He's the boy.
So let's jump into it.
Hey, Clerk, how possible? How possible are we thinking? How approachable?
If we are in the One Piece world,
if
we're going by the One Piece world, and if we are, let's say, we're all pirates. Let's just say that's that. We're not just like a people. We've joined pirates. We're either a crew or something. Then it might be possible if we are able to sail across. We have to survive the Grand Line, be able to interact with the Straw Hat Pirates. They're all very approachable people. And especially if you're femme presenting, he's going to come to you. He's very approachable. He's very nice. He's, we'd have to, it's mostly about braving the Grand Line and the New World, places that have giant monsters and weather phenomenons that don't make sense, dangerous pirate crews, murderers, yonkos, people who've eaten fruits that turn them into giant dragons and steal souls. So as long as we're pirates and we're able to survive that, or if we're on an island that needs help and Luffy and them somehow get there, he's coming to you pretty approachable. I'd give this a 6.
I'm gonna echo that. Like I am scared of the ocean, but the one thing that always made me feel attached to Luffy as a character is just that he could not fucking swim and he was the captain. And I was like, you know what? Me too. I could do that too.
He can't swim because he has a devil fruit.
Yeah.
And neither can Brook. Brook can't swim either, but he is also an idiot who anytime Luffy dives in and can't swim, he dives in too and starts drowning.
He's a skeleton, yeah.
He can actually float on water. He can run, actually not float on water, he can run on water.
What?
Because he's so light, because he's just bones.
That's incredible.
Panda?
I kind of want it, for me personally, I think it would be like a 5, because that is a lot of things to survive, but I feel like if you can survive that, like the meeting will happen eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a lot to survive against in this world.
It really is. Did you say a score? Sorry, I didn't.
5.
Oh, okay. Also, again, little fun fact, little trivia fact for y'all. If he was in the real world, he'd be Austrian. So do with that information as you will.
No particular problem.
I was just about to say that's more like a fun fact. I'm just like, that doesn't affect anything.
Yeah, just a little fun fact.
If he were French, that would be different.
Yeah, that's Sanji. Sanji's French, I think.
Oh,
Are
that's
you serious?
disappointing.
That makes sense.
He's either French or he's American. No, that's Frankie. Frankie's American. I think he is French.
Oh, that's disappointing, actually.
Well, he's a weirdo, and I hate Sanji. Anyways, attractiveness. How attractive is Brook? 9. Simple.
Wow, 9.
He is gentleman. He is always dripped out. He is funny. He is tall. He is 8'8", just like all the keys on the piano.
Oh, that's very fucking fun.
Mm-hmm.
He's not hotter than Leoric to me.
Yeah, that's
I will say
understandable. He 100% does not have any skin. It is confirmed.
So I'll give him a 6.
He does have better hair, though.
I would say, for me, a 7, and that's because the clothes are doing a lot.
Reasonable.
To that
Absolutely.
attractive.
Clothes are doing an incredible amount. Yeah.
I know his courage. One Piece fans know how loyal he is. Stepped up to Big Mom. So I get it. If you were to read the series, you'd know. You'd be up there with me. 9.5. Audacity. It's not that audacious. Genuinely.
It doesn't seem audacious.
He's just a guy. He'll come up to you. Like, he'll have a very approachable conversation. He'll talk to you. He is absolutely a nice guy. I think this is a 7. Again, you do have to brave the seas and be a pirate. I will make this very clear. Yeah.
I feel like also maybe, let's go with 7, because once you find him, he seems like a really cool, approachable skeleton gentleman. Finding him is going to be the issue.
Yeah, it's the getting him that's the hard part here.
Yeah.
I'll echo 7.
All right. So then it's parental approval. Would our parents approve of Brook? I think they would.
I mean, out of Leoric and Charon, probably.
I mean, of course, if we put him like even before he lost his skin and all that kind of stuff, he's an attractive man. He's coming in. He's a musician. He's a musician. That's huge. He's a musician. He's cool. He's respectful. He's going to be respecting your parents. He's a gentleman. He's going to give your mom a whole bunch of shower your mom with praises, things like that.
He's going to ask her for her panties.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you got to recover from that, but you can do it. I think this is an 8.
I think it's an 8 too. I was going to say.
I'm going to actually go with a 7, knowing my parents. The panties comment would not go over very well with them, but I think everything else would be enough to win them over. Because again, I used to be a musician, so they know that we'd have a lot in common, and he's a very snazzy dresser. So I feel like pervertedness aside, they could probably forgive that.
Mm-hmm. Reasonable.
Hey.
So now, for the last time this episode, I think it's time for us to pause for math and maybe sing a little ditty, in honor of Brook.
No.
Okay. You sing it in your hearts, everybody.
Pause for math.
Yo ho ho ho. Joe, can you read us the final scores for this whole episode here?
You are gonna love this, Cleric.
Let's start
Good job
from the
today.
bottom. Let's start from the bottom. Go on top.
Yeah. Well, firstly, to finish up, we'll let everyone know about the overalls for Brook. For Cleric, Brook got an overall of 7.6.
Mhm.
I got an overall of 6.8, and Panda got an overall of 6.5. So, which leaves for this episode, Leoric, our unfortunate last placer, with a 4.0.
Damn.
Charon at the middle with a 5.9, and a beautiful overall score between the three of us. Brook with a 7.
What did we say? Top 10 already. He's in the top 10, and that's where he belongs. The Soul King for the new world. Beautiful. Thank you all for being here for this episode. This is a lot of fun to talk about the undead. Panda, thank you for joining us. Now we're here wrapping up a bit.
Thank you for having me. I am so excited. This was like my top 10 things I wanted to do in the new year. And thank you for having me and for reaching out.
Of course. We'd love to have you on the show. Where can the people find you? What are your projects that you're working on?
So as of this recording, you can check out the video on demand of Belly of the Cat God, which is a Morkborg playthrough that was available on TEA TRPG, where I am playing Graft the Occult Herb Master. Very, very gross character. I love it. Other than that, I am available for any sort of tech running and or character needs. So feel free to hit me up on Twitter at Pandacabra. You can also find me on Instagram at PandaXCabra and Pandacabra pretty much everywhere else on social media. So that's me.
Incredible. All right. Joe, any closing thoughts? Sklussy, skeleton pussy. You already know what it is. Sklussy, get that sklussy up. You hear that bone rattle and hear that clack, 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 clack. You hear that Minecraft skeleton sounds. You already know what I'm saying. I'm about to hit them cheeks like that. Ugh. Ooh. All right, everybody. Those are our closing thoughts. We'll see you next time on another episode of MFA. You guys ready to say bye?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget me by my name, even if it's all a game. Your word will remain when you said that I was your ambition. I don't know reality or fiction, no.
Hard like my bones. Oh.
All right.
Stop. I hate you.